The night is quiet now. Far away, beyond the dark edges of the desert, the Nile moves slowly through the sleeping land. Its water does not hurry. It slips past the fields, past the reeds, past small villages resting beneath the wide Egyptian sky. The air is warm. A little wind moves across the river and touches the walls of mud brick houses. Somewhere in the darkness, a few insects make small sounds in the grass. Then they become quiet again. The village is mostly asleep. Inside one of the small houses, a family rests on woven mats. The walls are thick, made from earth that was shaped and dried beneath the sun. During the day, those walls held back some of the heat. At night, they hold the quiet. There is very little light now. A small oil lamp has almost gone out. Its flame trembles once, then settles into a faint glow. The room smells gently of dust, old wood, woven reeds, and the remains of the evening meal. Nothing important is happening. And that is exactly where we will begin. Not with a king. Not with a battle. Not with a great monument rising dramatically beneath the sun. Tonight, we will stay close to the ground. We will follow the ordinary life of a farmer. A man who wakes before the hottest part of the day. A man whose hands know the soil. A man who watches the river, the sky, the fields, and the changing seasons. His life is quiet in many ways. But it is also full. There are seeds to plant. Water to guide. Animals to feed. Tools to repair. Bread to make. Grain to carry. Roofs to patch. Sandals to mend. Children to care for. Neighbors to greet. And then, after all of this, there is sleep. The same dark sky waits above him each night. The same river continues moving. The same fields wait for morning. So let us remain here for a little while. The village is still sleeping. And before the farmer wakes, we can simply listen to the ancient night. The Nile has always been difficult to separate from Egyptian life. It is there in the darkness even when nobody looks at it. The river gives a soft sound as it moves against the muddy banks. Reeds lean toward the water. Their narrow leaves brush against one another whenever the breeze passes through them. Beyond the river are fields. Some are dark now. During the day, they would appear green or brown beneath the sun. At night, their colors disappear. Everything becomes a quiet shape. The farmer knows those fields well. He knows where the soil is soft. He knows where water collects. He knows which parts dry too quickly. He knows where an animal has stepped through the crops. He knows the narrow paths between the fields. He does not need to think about every step. His body remembers. Tomorrow, before the sun has climbed very high, he will walk those paths again. But for now, he sleeps. Perhaps he sleeps on a woven mat. Perhaps another mat is placed beside him. The family sleeps close together because the house is small. There are no large private rooms. There is no need for them. The night air enters through an opening in the wall. The roof above is made from reeds, branches, and mud. The house is simple. But it is home. There may be a small cooking area nearby, with a grinding stone resting on the floor. There may be clay pots stacked against a wall. There may be baskets made from reeds or grasses. There may be a wooden stool. A few tools. Some folded cloth. Perhaps a small wooden chest. Everything has its place because there is not much space. The farmer's possessions are practical. They are things that are used. A tool is repaired when it breaks. A basket is woven again when it becomes weak. A piece of cloth may be patched rather than replaced. A clay jar can be used again and again. The ordinary objects of life quietly gather around the people who use them. Outside, the village remains dark. A dog moves through a narrow lane. It pauses. Then continues. Somewhere farther away, an animal makes a low sound. The sound travels across the houses and fades. The night returns. This is what much of ancient life was made of. Small sounds. Small movements. Long periods of waiting. The farmer does not know that thousands of years later people will imagine his world through paintings, statues, temples, and stories about kings. He knows only the morning that is coming. He knows the work waiting for him. He knows the river. And he knows the field. Perhaps, before sleeping, he had eaten bread. Bread was one of the quiet foundations of daily life. Grain had to be grown, harvested, dried, stored, ground, mixed with water, and baked. Every loaf carried the work of many hours. The farmer's family may have eaten bread with vegetables, onions, dates, or beans. There might have been fish from the river. There might have been beer, which was a common part of the ancient Egyptian diet. The meal did not need to be complicated. Food was food. It gave strength for another day. And after eating, there was the simple work of cleaning the cooking place. Then the lamps were reduced. The voices became softer. The family settled down. One person might speak quietly. Another might already be asleep. A child might move beneath a thin covering. And gradually the house became still. Outside, the Nile continued moving. The farmer sleeps lightly. His life depends on many things he cannot control. The river must rise. The fields must receive water. The crops must grow. The weather must be kind enough. The animals must remain healthy. The harvest must be good enough to feed the household and meet the obligations placed upon the family. These thoughts are part of life. But tonight they are quiet. For a few hours, there is nothing to do. There is only sleep. The moon may be somewhere beyond the clouds. Or perhaps the sky is clear. The stars stretch above the land. In ancient Egypt, the sky would have been enormous. There were no city lights washing away the darkness. The stars could remain bright above the fields. The farmer might have known some of them by sight. He might have used the sky as part of his sense of time and season. But now, lying on his mat, he does not need to name anything. The stars simply exist. The river simply moves. The night simply passes. And slowly, very slowly, the eastern sky begins to change. It is not yet morning. The darkness has only become slightly lighter. The farmer stirs. There is no alarm. No bell. No clock beside the sleeping mat. Morning comes because morning comes. He opens his eyes. For a moment, the room is still. He hears breathing. He hears a faint sound outside. He sits up. The woven mat shifts beneath him. His feet touch the floor. The floor is cool compared with the air outside. He remains there for a moment. Then the day begins. The first work may be simple. He checks the animals. A donkey needs attention. A cow may need to be moved. A few animals are kept close to the house because they are too valuable to leave far away. The farmer steps outside. The village is beginning to wake. A neighbor appears in the lane. There is a quiet greeting. No one speaks loudly. The air is still cooler than it will be later. The dusty ground feels firm beneath bare feet or simple sandals. The farmer walks toward the field. The river is nearby. He can see the faint outline of palm trees. Their leaves are still. The horizon begins to brighten. The first light touches the upper edges of the houses. Then the fields. Then the river. Morning has arrived. And the farmer begins to work. There is no single task that defines his whole day. Farming is made from many small tasks. He checks the soil. He looks at the plants. He clears a small channel. He removes weeds. He lifts a tool. He bends. He stands. He bends again. The movement repeats. Slowly. Patiently. There is no need to hurry during the cool part of the morning. But the heat will come. Everyone knows it. The sun rises higher. The shadows become shorter. The farmer's skin begins to warm. Dust settles on his feet. His hands become dirty. The field has no interest in whether he is tired. The crops still need attention. So he continues. In ancient Egypt, farming followed the rhythm of the Nile and the seasons. The river was not merely a road through the land. It was part of the foundation of agricultural life. When the Nile flooded, water spread across low-lying fields. When the waters withdrew, they left behind moist soil and fertile sediment. The farmer watched these changes carefully. His year was not divided simply into months on a page. It was felt through the river, through the fields, through the work, through the movement of water. There was a season when the flood covered much of the land near the river. During that period, some agricultural work changed. The fields could not be treated in the same way. There was waiting. There was preparation. There were other kinds of work to do. Then, as the water withdrew, the dark earth appeared again. The farmer could walk onto it. He could begin preparing the soil. Seeds could be placed into the ground. Animals might be used to help with plowing. The work was physical. The tools were simple. A wooden plow could cut into the earth. A hoe could break up soil. A sickle could cut grain. The farmer's hands knew the shape and weight of each tool. A wooden handle. A stone or metal cutting edge. A cord. A basket. Nothing seemed remarkable. Yet each object mattered. A broken tool could slow the entire day's work. So tools were cared for. Edges were sharpened. Handles were repaired. Wood was replaced when necessary. The farmer might carry a tool across his shoulder as he walked home. The sun would be lower by then. His steps would be slower. His body would feel heavy. But that is later. For now, the morning is still young. The field is quiet. Birds move between the reeds. A few insects rise from the plants. The river shines in the distance. The farmer pauses. He looks toward the water. Then he returns to his work. There is comfort in repetition. The same field. The same path. The same tool. The same river. The same sun. A life like this can feel very long. One morning follows another. One season follows another. Years pass without needing to announce themselves. A child grows taller. A wall becomes worn. A basket is repaired. A tree becomes larger. A farmer's hands become more marked by work. And still, the Nile moves. Still, the sun rises. Still, bread is made. Still, the fields wait. By mid-morning, the heat is stronger. The farmer's pace becomes slower. He may stop beneath the shade of a tree. There may be a little water to drink. The shade feels precious. For a few moments, He does nothing. The field continues without him. The river continues without him. The sky remains white and pale. He sits. Perhaps another worker sits nearby. There is little conversation. They are tired. They do not need to explain it. The heat explains everything. The farmer wipes his face. He looks toward the distant houses. From here, the village appears small. The mud brick walls blend with the earth. A few palms rise above the roofs. The river forms a dark line beyond them. The desert begins farther away. Dry land. Open land. Quiet land. The farmer knows that beyond the fields is a much larger world. There are other villages. There are towns. There are temples. There are workshops. There are markets. There are scribes who write records. There are officials who measure grain. There are boats traveling along the Nile. But most days, the farmer does not need to travel far. His world is close. His world is the field. The house. The river. The animals. The family. The road between them. The work is enough. When the shade becomes less useful, he rises. The day continues. Perhaps there is irrigation work. Water must be moved from one place to another. Small channels need to be cleared. Mud can block a passage. Plants can grow where they are not wanted. A farmer may lift water using simple devices or work with others to guide it. The work is repetitive. Lift. Pour. Wait. Move. Repeat. The sun remains above. The air shimmers over the fields. The river is always close. Sometimes the farmer can hear voices from another field. Someone calls. Someone answers. Then the sounds become distant again. There is no constant noise. There is space between sounds. That space is part of the day. At midday, work may slow. People seek shade whenever they can. The houses become dark inside. Thick walls help keep the rooms cooler. The farmer returns home. The journey is not long. Dust rises around his feet. His sandals leave shallow marks. He enters through the doorway. Inside, the light is softer. His eyes adjust. The room feels cooler. A meal may already be waiting. Bread. Vegetables. Perhaps fish. Perhaps onions or dates. A simple drink. Nothing is hurried. He sits. He eats. For a while, the field is forgotten. There is only food. And shade. And quiet. The household continues its work around him. Someone grinds grain. The sound of stone against stone fills the room. It is a slow, steady sound. Grain is poured onto the grinding surface. The upper stone moves. Back and forth. Back and forth. The flour gathers. The rhythm continues. This too is part of farming life. Growing grain is only the beginning. It must become food. The grain must be stored safely. It must be ground. Dough must be prepared. Bread must be baked. The farmer may work in the field, but the household works around the harvest. Everyone has something to do. A child might carry a small basket. Someone might clean vegetables. Someone might tend the fire. Someone might repair clothing. A woman may knead dough with practiced hands. The dough is soft. It is pressed and folded. Then shaped. The oven is prepared. Heat rises. The smell of bread begins to fill the house. For a short time, the scent becomes the strongest thing in the room. Warm grain. Smoke. Earth. Ash. The farmer eats. His body is tired. The food is welcome. Outside, the heat remains. The village has slowed. The animals rest. The fields wait. The river shines under the sun. Even the birds seem quieter. There is no reason to hurry through the hottest hours. The farmer may sleep for a little while. He lies down on the mat. His eyes close. The sounds of the household become distant. Stone against grain. A soft voice. A bird outside. The faint movement of wind. He sleeps. Only for a short time. Then the afternoon begins. The sun moves gradually toward the west. The shadows lengthen. The air is still warm, but the sharpest heat has begun to soften. The farmer rises again. There is more work. Perhaps the animals need feeding. Perhaps a fence needs repair. Perhaps a tool needs fixing. Perhaps he must inspect another part of the field. A farmer's day rarely ends with one clear task. Instead, work flows into work. One thing leads to another. A rope needs repair. Repairing the rope reveals that a basket is damaged. The basket needs weaving. Weaving requires reeds. The reeds need to be gathered. The small needs of life continue to multiply. But slowly. There is no hurry in the telling of it. The farmer walks toward the river. The water is brighter in the afternoon light. A boat moves slowly along the surface. Its shape is simple. Wood. Rope. Cloth. Human hands. The boat passes. The farmer watches for a moment. Then continues. Perhaps fishermen are working nearby. They have their own routines. They cast nets. They pull them in. They sort their catch. They speak quietly. Their work belongs to the same river. The farmer may trade with them someday. A basket of grain for fish. A little produce for another useful item. Ancient village life depends on many such exchanges. Not every family can make everything. People need one another. The farmer needs tools. The tool maker needs food. The fisherman needs grain. The baker needs grain. The household needs cloth. The merchant carries goods from one place to another. A scribe records amounts. A boat carries things along the river. The village is connected. Yet for the farmer, these connections remain mostly ordinary. A person appears. A trade happens. A greeting is exchanged. Then everyone returns to work. The afternoon becomes quieter. The sun drops lower. The walls of the houses turn warm in the evening light. Dust floats in the air. The river reflects the sky. The farmer's work is nearly finished. His body knows it. His shoulders are tired. His hands ache. His feet are dusty. He carries his tools home. The road is familiar. He passes the same walls. The same doorway. The same tree. A child is playing nearby. Someone calls the child home. A woman carries a basket. An older man sits outside his house. Nobody is doing anything remarkable. The day is simply ending. And perhaps that is enough. The farmer reaches his house. He places the tools down. They will be needed again. He checks the animals. Then washes some of the dust from his hands and feet. The water is precious. It is used carefully. There is no great bath. Just enough to become comfortable. The evening air is cooler now. The family gathers. Food is prepared. Bread is broken. Conversation moves softly around the room. The day's work becomes the subject of quiet remarks. The crops. The animals. The river. Someone who visited. A tool that needs repair. A child who was tired. A neighbor who needs help. The subjects are simple. They are the same kinds of things people have discussed around meals for thousands of years. The lamp is lit. Its flame is small. The walls glow softly. Shadows move. The farmer eats slowly. His body is beginning to relax. Outside, the village becomes dark again. The day's footsteps disappear. The field is empty. The river remains. Later, the family will sleep. Tomorrow will come. And the farmer will wake again. There will be another morning. Another walk. Another field. Another sky. Another day beneath the Egyptian sun. For now, though, he is sitting in the dim room. The lamp is burning low. The bread is nearly gone. The air has cooled. A breeze enters through the doorway. The farmer leans back. His eyes become heavy. The sounds of the village grow fewer. A dog passes outside. Someone closes a door. A pot is placed on the floor. Then silence. The Nile continues moving beyond the houses. The water does not stop for night. It passes quietly through the darkness. And the farmer listens. Perhaps he does not think about the future. Perhaps he does not think about history. There is only this evening. This house. This family. This river. This tired body. Soon he will lie down. The mat is waiting. The roof is above him. The walls are around him. The night is outside. He stretches out. His head rests against a folded cloth or a simple wooden support. The room is dark except for the final glow of the lamp. The flame becomes smaller. Smaller. Then disappears. The house becomes completely dark. Outside, the stars remain. The river remains. The fields remain. And beneath the wide ancient sky, the farmer sleeps. For a few quiet hours, there is nothing more for him to do. The grain can wait. The tools can wait. The fields can wait. Morning can wait. The Nile moves softly beside the sleeping village. And the ancient night settles gently over the mud brick walls, over the narrow paths, over the resting animals, and over the fields that will soon receive the first light of another day. The farmer sleeps. The village sleeps. And the river keeps moving through the darkness. The night passes slowly over the Nile. The village remains quiet. The farmer sleeps beneath the roof of his small house, while the darkness outside gradually begins to thin. The stars are still visible, but their light is softer now. Somewhere beyond the houses, the river moves through the early morning shadows. The water touches the bank. Then pulls away. Touches the bank again. There is no hurry. The farmer does not know how long he has been asleep. He only knows that his body has rested enough for another day. A faint gray light enters through the doorway. The room slowly becomes visible. The clay pots. The woven basket. The wooden tools. The sleeping shapes of family members. A little dust along the floor. The farmer opens his eyes. For a few moments, he does not move. The morning is cool. This is one of the most comfortable parts of the day. Soon the sun will rise higher. Soon the heat will return. But for now, the air is gentle. He sits up. His back feels stiff from yesterday's work. His hands are rough. There are small marks on his fingers from tools, rope, reeds, and soil. He rubs his hands together. Then he stands. The floor is cool beneath his feet. Outside, the village is beginning to wake. A bird calls from somewhere near the river. Another answers. A donkey makes a low sound. A child coughs inside one of the houses. Someone is already walking along the dusty path. The farmer steps outside. The eastern sky is pale. The sun has not yet appeared. The river seems almost silver. Mist may rest lightly above the water in some places. The farmer looks toward the fields. He can already imagine the work waiting there. But before he goes, there are things to do at home. The animals need attention. He walks toward them. A cow shifts its weight. A donkey lowers its head. The farmer checks the animals quietly. He gives them food. He makes sure they have water. He looks at a rope. It is beginning to wear. He touches the fibers between his fingers. It will need to be repaired soon. Nothing is thrown away simply because it is old. Old things are useful. A worn rope can still hold. A cracked basket can still carry something. A wooden handle can be wrapped. A piece of cloth can become a patch. A household survives through careful use. The farmer finishes with the animals. Now the sky is brighter. The first sunlight reaches the tops of the palms. The village begins to glow. Mud brick walls turn from gray to soft brown. The narrow paths become visible. People emerge from their homes. There are greetings. Quiet voices. Footsteps. The morning has begun. The farmer takes his tools. He walks toward the fields. The path runs beside the river for part of the way. The water is calm. A small boat is moving slowly downstream. There are two people inside. They speak to one another. Their voices drift across the water. Then the boat moves farther away. The farmer continues walking. His sandals make a soft sound against the dry earth. Step. 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 The rhythm is steady. He has walked this path many times. There is nothing to discover. And that is comforting. The path does not change much. The river is where it should be. The fields are where they should be. The palms stand in their familiar places. The farmer arrives. He puts his tools down. Then he looks over the soil. This is an important part of farming. Looking. Before touching the earth, he studies it. He sees where the ground is dry. He sees where moisture remains. He notices small plants. He notices weeds. He notices the marks of animals. He may crouch down and take a handful of soil. It breaks softly between his fingers. The farmer knows soil by feel. He knows when it is ready. He knows when it needs water. He knows when it needs to be turned. His knowledge is not written in a book. It lives in his hands. It has been learned through repetition. Perhaps his father taught him. Perhaps an older farmer showed him. Perhaps he learned by making mistakes. A field teaches slowly. It does not speak. It simply responds. If the soil is cared for, something may grow. If water is lost, the plants suffer. If weeds take over, the harvest becomes smaller. If the river behaves well, the fields can prosper. The farmer begins. He bends over. He works the soil. The tool enters the earth. He pulls it back. Then again. The movement is simple. Again. 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 The sun climbs. His shadow grows shorter. The field becomes warmer. Soon his breathing becomes heavier. He pauses. He looks toward the river. The water is bright now. A few white birds move along the bank. One rises into the air. It circles. Then settles again. The farmer returns to work. There is something peaceful about watching someone work without hurry. The movement is slow because the work is hard. It has to be. The soil will not respond to speed. The farmer gives it time. He gives each patch of ground his attention. The hours pass through these small movements. By late morning, the heat is stronger. His clothes are damp with sweat. Dust has gathered around his ankles. His hands are dark with earth. He sits beneath a palm. The shade is narrow. But it is enough. Another farmer joins him. They sit quietly. Perhaps they share some bread. Perhaps there is a small container of beer. The bread is dry at the edges. But it is filling. The farmer tears off a piece. He eats. The other man looks toward the fields. They may speak about the work. The conversation is brief. There is no need for long discussion. The heat itself fills most of the silence. After a while, they stand. The farmer returns to his field. The other man walks away. Each returns to his own work. This is how a village day continues. People are near one another. But each person carries a different task. A woman may be grinding grain. A fisherman may be repairing a net. A potter may be shaping clay. A carpenter may be working with wood. A scribe may be sitting in a shaded room, writing carefully on a surface prepared for writing. A merchant may be arranging goods. A child may be carrying water. An older person may be sitting near a doorway, watching the street. The village is alive. But it is not loud all the time. Much of the sound is soft. Grinding stone. Wood against wood. Feet against earth. Water being poured. Animals breathing. Birds calling. People speaking. These sounds overlap. Then separate. Then return. The farmer hears them without thinking. They are simply part of the world. He continues working. By midday, the sun is almost directly above him. The sky is pale. There is little shade in the open field. The farmer knows better than to remain exposed for too long. He gathers his tools. He walks home. The path is hot now. The ground feels warmer through his sandals. The air seems almost still. The river is bright enough to hurt the eyes. He looks down. He walks. When he reaches the house, he enters the cool interior. The difference is immediate. The room is darker. The walls are thick. The light from outside does not reach very far. He sits. Someone gives him water. He drinks slowly. The water is precious. He does not waste it. He washes his hands. Mud falls away. The water becomes cloudy. He sets the container aside. Lunch is simple. Bread again. Vegetables. Perhaps onions. Perhaps dates. Maybe fish. Maybe a little meat on a special occasion. Most meals do not need to be elaborate. Food is closely tied to the seasons. When crops are abundant, there is more. When stores are low, meals become simpler. The farmer knows the value of grain. A full storage area brings a certain kind of peace. The jars and baskets are not simply containers. They are protection against future hunger. Grain must be kept dry. It must be protected from pests. It must be measured. It must be watched. A good harvest does not mean the work is finished. The harvest must last. The farmer eats quietly. Then he rests. The hottest part of the day stretches outside. There is no reason to fight it. The village becomes still. The animals stand in shade. The streets are nearly empty. Even the children are quieter. The farmer lies down. His eyes close. For a while, he sleeps. Perhaps 20 minutes. Perhaps longer. There is no need to know. Sleep comes easily after hard work. The body is heavy. The room is dark. The sounds outside become distant. The farmer dreams. Perhaps he dreams of nothing. Perhaps he dreams of the field. Perhaps the river. Perhaps a memory from childhood. The ancient world has its own kind of tiredness. There are no machines to carry the farmer's tools. No engine cuts the field. No mechanical device makes the work disappear. His body is part of the equipment. His hands. His back. His shoulders. His legs. His patience. When he wakes, the afternoon has softened. The light has changed. A warm golden glow enters the doorway. He sits up. For a moment, he listens. Someone outside is speaking. A child laughs. A donkey moves. The village has begun to wake from its midday quiet. The farmer steps outside. The air is still hot, but it feels easier now. The sun has begun its long movement toward the west. Shadows are growing. The farmer has more work to do. He checks his tools. One of them needs attention. The wooden handle is loose. He sits near the doorway. He examines it. A small repair is enough. He finds cord. He wraps it tightly around a joint. He tests it. The tool is usable again. This small repair may save him trouble later. Then he looks at a basket. One side is damaged. He will repair that too. The basket is made from plant fibers. Its surface has become dry with age. He pulls the broken strands away. Then he begins weaving. One strand over. Another beneath. Slowly. The pattern becomes firm again. There is no need to hurry. Repair is part of ordinary life. The farmer finishes. He sets the basket aside. Now he can return to the field. But before leaving, he hears someone approaching. A neighbor stands in the doorway. They speak about the river, the water level, the fields. A family matter. A tool. Nothing extraordinary. The farmer listens. Then answers. The neighbor leaves. The farmer remains for a moment. The evening is coming. He can feel it. The air has begun to change. The sharp heat is fading. He walks toward the fields again. The light is softer now. The plants cast longer shadows. The soil feels cooler. He works. There is less pressure. The day is nearly done. He clears a channel. He removes a few weeds. He checks the crops. He looks for signs of insects. He touches a plant. It is alive. Green. Growing. That is enough. He stands. The sun is low. The western sky is pale gold. Beyond the fields, the desert begins. The dry land seems endless. But the green strip beside the Nile is narrow and precious. The farmer knows exactly where the useful land ends. Beyond it, there is sand and stone. Here, there is water. Here, there is soil. Here, there is life. He looks toward the river. A flock of birds moves across the sky. Their shapes become dark against the fading light. The farmer gathers his tools. He begins the walk home. The path is cooler now. Other workers are returning too. Some carry baskets. Some carry tools. Some walk beside animals. Everyone is tired. But the evening makes the tiredness easier to carry. The sun disappears. The sky changes color. The first stars begin to appear. The village becomes darker. Smoke rises from cooking fires. The smell of bread moves through the air. The farmer reaches home. His family is already preparing the evening meal. The house feels different at night. During the day, the walls hold back the sun. At night, they hold the family close. The farmer sits near the doorway. He removes his sandals. His feet are dusty. He stretches his legs. Someone brings food. He eats. The meal is warm. There is bread. There are vegetables. Perhaps there is fish. Perhaps beer. The farmer eats more slowly than he did at midday. The day's work is over. For a while, nobody needs anything from him. The tools can wait. The field can wait. The animals have been fed. The family is together. This is the quiet center of the day. The farmer looks at his children. They are tired too. One may already be leaning against someone. Another may be playing with a small object. The adults speak softly. The lamp burns. Its flame moves whenever air enters through the doorway. The shadows on the wall shift. A clay pot catches the light. A woven basket rests beside it. A wooden stool stands near the wall. The room is small. But there is enough. Enough food for tonight. Enough water. Enough shelter. Enough tiredness to make sleep welcome. Outside, the village continues its evening sounds. A donkey. A dog. A distant voice. The river. Then the sounds begin to disappear. One by one. The farmer finishes his meal. He wipes his hands. He drinks. He sits quietly. The evening air enters the house. It is cooler now. The desert may still hold the day's heat, but the river carries a little coolness into the night. The farmer looks toward the darkness. He can see the faint outline of palm trees. Above them, the stars are brighter. He may not know how many years his family has lived beside this river. He does not need to. The river was here before him. It will be here tomorrow. It has carried boats. It has carried fishermen. It has carried merchants. It has carried mud and water. It has fed fields. It has shaped villages. It has shaped the rhythm of life. The farmer has learned to live with it. Not against it. With it. The river rises and falls. The farmer plants and harvests. The river moves. The farmer rests. Both continue. Night grows deeper. The family prepares for sleep. The cooking fire is reduced. The remaining food is covered. The animals are checked once more. A door is closed. The lamp is turned down. The farmer washes his face. The water is cool. He rubs his hands. Then he enters the sleeping room. The mat is waiting. He lies down. His body feels heavy. His back aches. His hands are tired. His legs feel warm from the day's walking. But the tiredness is familiar. It is the tiredness of work completed. He turns onto his side. The room is dark. Someone nearby is already sleeping. A child breathes softly. The farmer closes his eyes. Outside, the village becomes quiet again. The river is still moving. He can hear it faintly. A low, steady sound. The same sound that was there when he woke. The same sound that will be there when he wakes again. Perhaps this is one of the quietest things about ancient life. The farmer's day is full of movement. But the world around him moves slowly. The river, the seasons, the fields, the stars, the sun. The farmer works within those rhythms. He does not control them. He simply follows them. And now he follows the final rhythm of the day. Wake. Work. Eat. Rest. Work again. Eat again. Sleep. Then morning. Again. And again. Years can pass this way. A child becomes a worker. A young farmer becomes a father. A father becomes an older man. His children learn the fields. They learn the river. They learn the tools. They learn the feel of soil between their fingers. They learn when to plant, when to harvest, when to wait. They learn that some days are easy. Some days are difficult. Most days are simply days. The farmer does not know how future generations will remember him. He does not know that ordinary objects from homes like his will one day be carefully studied. He does not know that people will look at old tools and wonder about the hands that held them. He does not know that the quiet remains of ancient houses will tell small stories about people who cooked, worked, slept, worried, rested, and woke again. He simply lives. And perhaps that is why his life is worth following. Because most of history was made of people who were not kings. People who woke early. People who carried water. People who planted seeds. People who ground grain. People who repaired walls. People who cared for animals. People who became tired. People who sat beneath trees during the hottest hours. People who waited for the river. People who watched their children sleep. People who closed their doors at night. People who listened to the Nile in the darkness. The farmer is one of these people. And tonight, he is sleeping again. The last light has disappeared. The moon hangs somewhere above the village. The mud brick walls are dark. The fields are dark. The palms are dark shapes against the sky. The river catches a little moonlight. Its surface moves. Slowly. Quietly. The farmer breathes. In. And out. His body rests. Tomorrow there will be more work. But tomorrow has not arrived yet. Tonight, the field can remain untouched. The tools can remain against the wall. The baskets can remain where they were placed. The animals are quiet. The family is sleeping. The Nile continues beside them. And the ancient Egyptian night becomes deeper. There is nothing else the farmer needs to do. For now, he can simply rest. The village rests with him. And beyond the sleeping houses, beneath the endless Egyptian sky, the river continues its slow journey through the darkness. The darkness remains over the village. The farmer is asleep. His breathing is slow and even. Beside him, the other members of the household are quiet beneath the same dark roof. The small room has grown cooler during the night. The heat that filled the walls during the afternoon has slowly faded. Outside, the Nile moves without interruption. The river does not know whether it is day or night. It simply moves. Its dark surface carries the faint reflection of the stars. A few reeds bend near the bank. A bird shifts among them. Then everything becomes still again. For the farmer, sleep is not a luxury. It is part of the rhythm that allows him to work. His body needs the darkness. His hands need the rest. His legs need the rest. His shoulders need the rest. Tomorrow they will lift, carry, bend, pull, and walk again. But not yet. For now, he lies still. And while he sleeps, the village seems almost empty. The narrow paths are deserted. The doorways are dark. The cooking fires have become ash. The animals are quiet. Only a few sounds remain. The river. The insects. An occasional animal. The soft movement of wind. Then, slowly, the darkness begins to change. Morning is approaching again. The eastern sky becomes slightly lighter. The stars disappear one by one. The farmer turns beneath the thin covering. He wakes. For a moment, he remains where he is. He listens. The village is beginning to stir. A woman outside calls softly to someone. A donkey moves against its tether. A wooden door opens. A few footsteps pass through the lane. The farmer sits up. His day has begun again. But today there is something different. The field is not the only place that needs him. The roof above part of the house has become damaged. During the last few days, a small area has begun to weaken. The farmer noticed it yesterday. Today he must repair it. This is another quiet truth about ancient life. A house is never simply finished. It needs attention. Walls crack. Roofs weaken. Doors become loose. Floors collect dust. Ropes break. Baskets become worn. Clay pots chip. Everything made by human hands slowly changes. So people repair. They patch. They rebuild. They strengthen. The farmer steps outside. The morning air is cool. He looks up toward the roof. A section near the edge has become uneven. He will need mud. He will need reeds. He will need time. The work can wait until after the morning chores. First, the animals. He walks toward them. The donkey looks at him. The farmer places food nearby. He checks the tether. Then the cow. Then the smaller animals. Each receives attention. It is a simple routine. But animals are important. They provide food. They provide labor. They provide materials. A farmer cannot simply ignore them. The farmer's children may help. A child carries something small. Another brings water. The adults do the heavier work. Nobody gives a speech about it. The work is simply part of growing up. Children learn by watching. They learn how to carry a basket, how to hold a rope, how to stay near an animal, how to grind grain, how to sweep the floor, how to recognize a useful plant, how to avoid a dangerous one, how to help prepare food. There are no sharp boundaries between childhood and work. Learning happens through ordinary life. The farmer finishes with the animals. Now he begins preparing the roof. The materials are gathered. Reeds. Branches. Mud. Perhaps straw. The farmer carries them toward the house. The roof is low. He must climb carefully. There is no need to rush. He places the reeds across the damaged section. Then he adds branches. The structure becomes stronger. Mud is mixed with other materials to create a thick covering. The mixture is heavy. The farmer lifts it carefully. He spreads it over the roof. His hands become muddy. The sun rises higher. The work becomes warmer. He continues. Spread. Press. Smooth. Move. Again. There is something almost peaceful about repairing a roof. It does not demand speed. It demands patience. The farmer knows that if the roof is repaired properly, it may last through another season. The mud dries beneath the sun. The surface becomes firm. He steps down. He looks upward. The roof is not beautiful in any grand sense. But it is useful. It keeps rain and heat from entering too easily. It protects the people below. That is enough. The farmer washes his hands. Then he prepares to go to the field. The village is fully awake now. The paths are busier. People carry baskets. Some walk toward the river. Others move toward workshops. A fisherman carries equipment. A potter works with wet clay. A woman carries grain. A man leads an animal. The sounds overlap. A grinding stone. A hammer. A voice. A child's footsteps. A bird. Water. The village has become a working place. The farmer walks through it. He knows many of the people. They know him. There is no need to introduce anyone. They are neighbors. They have seen one another for years. The farmer reaches the field. The morning light is strong now. He looks over the crops. There is work to do. He begins. The first hour passes quickly. Then another. The farmer clears weeds. He checks the soil. He moves along the edge of the field. A small channel has become blocked. He kneels. His fingers enter the mud. He removes leaves and pieces of dried plant material. Water begins to move. Slowly. At first only a thin stream. Then more. The farmer watches. The water enters the channel. It follows the path he has prepared. He adjusts the mud with his hands. The flow changes. A little more water moves toward the field. He waits. This is not a task that can be hurried. Water finds its own path. The farmer guides it. He watches. Then adjusts. The work is quiet. The river is nearby. The field is green. The sky is pale. The sun continues rising. There is a gentle wind. The farmer stands. He looks across the land. This is the view he sees again and again. Green crops. Brown earth. Palm trees. Water. Desert beyond. The Nile Valley is narrow. The life it supports is concentrated close to the river. Farther away, the land becomes dry. The farmer does not need to travel into that dryness very often. His world is tied to the water. The river is both near and distant at the same time. It is near enough to shape every part of his life. But it is also powerful enough that he must respect it. When the river rises, the land changes. When it falls, the fields return. The farmer has learned to watch. There are signs everywhere. The condition of the soil. The level of water. The health of the plants. The direction of the wind. The behavior of animals. The color of the sky. Ancient farmers did not need modern instruments to know when something in the landscape had changed. They watched. They remembered. They compared one season with another. The knowledge stayed in families. It passed through ordinary conversation. An older farmer might say that a certain field needs more water. Another might know that a certain crop grows better in a particular place. Someone else might remember how the river behaved years before. The knowledge is practical. It belongs to the people who depend upon it. The farmer continues working. His back bends. He straightens. He moves forward. The same motion repeats. The hours pass. Around midday, the heat becomes heavy. The farmer stops. He walks toward a shaded area. He drinks. His mouth is dry. The water feels cool. He closes his eyes for a moment. There is a breeze. It moves through the palm leaves. The leaves make a soft sound. He listens. The world seems quieter beneath the shade. A bird lands nearby. It looks toward him, then flies away. The farmer does not move. He rests. This pause may last only a few minutes, but it is welcome. When he returns to the field, the heat is already intense. He works more slowly. His shirt sticks to his skin. Dust gathers on his arms. His hands are darker than before. The sun is almost directly above him. The farmer thinks about food. He thinks about shade. He thinks about the cool darkness of the house. He keeps working. Not because he enjoys the heat, but because the work has to be done. This is one of the quiet realities of agricultural life. Nature does not always provide comfortable conditions. A farmer works when the work must be done. He may be tired. He may be hot. He may have sore muscles. Still, the field remains. The crops continue growing. The water continues flowing. The harvest does not wait for perfect weather. So he continues. Later, he returns home. The house is dark and cool. Someone has prepared food. He sits. He drinks water. He eats. The bread is warm. There are vegetables. There may be fish. Perhaps there is a little beer. The farmer does not speak much. He is tired. The meal itself is enough. After eating, he rests. The afternoon heat presses against the outside walls. The village becomes quiet again. This pattern repeats through the year. But not every day is exactly the same. The farmer's work changes with the seasons. There are times when the field demands more attention. There are times when the river changes everything. There are times for planting. Times for growing. Times for harvesting. Times for waiting. During the flood season, the landscape can become very different. Water spreads over low areas. Fields disappear beneath it. Paths become difficult. Some work stops. Other work begins. People repair tools. They maintain houses. They prepare storage spaces. They work on boats. They repair fishing equipment. They handle tasks that can be done while the fields are underwater. The farmer's year is shaped by these changes. The river determines the rhythm. There is something almost meditative about this. Nothing happens all at once. The seasons turn gradually. The river rises. The river covers the fields. The river withdraws. The earth appears. The soil dries. The farmer plants. The crops grow. The grain ripens. The farmer harvests. Then the cycle begins again. A person living within this rhythm would feel the passing of time differently. There is no need to count every day. The condition of the field tells you. The river tells you. The crops tell you. The sky tells you. Even the smell of the earth changes. The farmer knows these changes. He has lived with them since childhood. Perhaps he remembers his father working in the same field. Perhaps his father once repaired the same wall. Perhaps his mother once baked bread in the same place. A house can hold many generations of ordinary memories. A doorway becomes familiar. A cooking area becomes familiar. A field becomes familiar. A tree becomes familiar. The farmer may remember sitting beneath a palm when he was a boy. He may remember carrying a basket that seemed very heavy. He may remember being scolded for dropping something. He may remember watching older people work. Now he is the older person. And his children watch him. The pattern continues. In the afternoon, the farmer wakes from his rest. He steps outside. The light is softer. He notices the roof repair from the morning. The mud has begun to dry. He touches it. It feels firm. Good enough. He checks the animals. Then he prepares for the field again. This time, the walk feels easier. The heat is declining. The shadows are longer. The farmer walks slowly. He passes the river. A fisherman is pulling in a net. The net is wet. Water drips from it. The fisherman checks what he has caught. The farmer pauses. They exchange a few words. Perhaps the fisherman has fish to trade. The farmer may need some. They agree on an exchange. The farmer offers grain. The fisherman offers fish. No grand marketplace is needed. The transaction happens beside the river. Then they continue with their days. This is how ordinary economies often work. Through relationships. Through trust. Through repeated exchanges. A person knows who makes good pottery. Who repairs tools well. Who has animals. Who has grain. Who catches fish. Who travels. The community is held together by these small connections. The farmer continues toward the field. The afternoon is nearly gone. He works until the light becomes too weak to see clearly. Then he stops. He looks at the crops one last time. He knows what remains for tomorrow. He gathers his tools. The walk home is quiet. The village smells of cooking fires. Smoke hangs gently in the evening air. The first stars appear. A small child runs along the path. An older woman calls the child back. The farmer smiles faintly. He enters his home. His family is preparing the meal. There is bread. There are vegetables. The smell is warm and familiar. The farmer sits. Someone pours a drink. He eats. Eats. His hands are still dirty. He notices a small piece of soil under one fingernail. He removes it. Then eats another piece of bread. The evening passes slowly. The family speaks. The farmer tells them about the blocked channel. He mentions the roof repair. Someone asks about the field. He answers. Then the conversation moves to something else. A neighbor. An animal. A child. The price of something. The weather. Nothing important enough to be remembered by history. Yet these conversations make up history. The lives of ordinary people are filled with moments that leave no written record. A father telling a child to be careful. A mother grinding grain. A farmer repairing a roof. A fisherman sorting his catch. A potter shaping a jar. A tired worker drinking water beneath a tree. A child falling asleep near the cooking fire. These moments vanish. But they happened. They happened every day. And tonight, we can remain with them. The farmer finishes eating. He sits near the doorway. The air is cool now. The stars are bright. The river is dark. He hears a boat passing. The sound of a wooden paddle enters the night. Dip. Pull. Dip. Pull. The boat moves downstream. The sound becomes quieter. Then disappears. The farmer remains seated. His body is tired. His mind is quiet. He watches the darkness. Perhaps he thinks about tomorrow. There is more work. There always is. But there is also the comfort of knowing what tomorrow will look like. He will wake. He will check the animals. He will walk to the field. He will work. He will return. He will eat. He will rest. There is something gentle about knowing the shape of a day. The farmer does not need to invent a new life every morning. The river gives the year its rhythm. The field gives the day its work. The house gives the evening its shelter. And the night gives the body a place to rest. Eventually, the farmer stands. He steps inside. The lamp is burning. The flame is small. The room glows. His family begins preparing for sleep. The cooking area is cleaned. The remaining food is covered. The animals are checked. Tools are placed against the wall. The farmer looks at them. Tomorrow they will be needed. Tonight they can rest. He lies down. The woven mat is beneath him. The roof above is quiet. The walls hold the darkness. A faint breeze moves through the doorway. He closes his eyes. The day is finished. His breathing becomes slower. The sounds of the village become distant. The Nile continues moving. The farmer sleeps. And while he sleeps, the world around him remains in its familiar order. The river moves. The stars cross the sky. The animals rest. The fields wait. The mud walls stand beneath the moon. Somewhere far away, another farmer is also sleeping. Another family is resting. Another small lamp has gone dark. Another roof is sheltering tired people. Another field is waiting for morning. Across the Nile Valley, thousands of ordinary lives are passing quietly through the same darkness. People who will wake tomorrow. People who will work. People who will eat. People who will become tired. People who will sleep. Their names may not survive. Their voices may not survive. Their exact conversations may never be known. But their daily rhythms once filled this land. The footsteps on dusty paths. The sound of grain being ground. The smell of bread. The splash of river water. The creak of a wooden boat. The call of a fisherman. The quiet voice of a mother. The tired breathing of a farmer. These were the sounds of ancient Egypt too. Not only temples. Not only monuments. Not only rulers. But homes. Fields. Animals. Bread. Water. Work. Rest. Sleep. The farmer turns slightly on his mat. He is almost completely asleep now. Outside, the river catches the moonlight. The water moves past the village. Past the fields. Past the palms. Past the quiet paths. And the night grows deeper. The farmer does not need to know what tomorrow will bring. Morning will come when it comes. The river will continue. The crops will continue growing. The village will wake. For now, everything can remain still. The farmer sleeps beneath the simple roof he repaired that morning. The mud has dried. The house is safe. The tools are waiting. The animals are quiet. The food has been stored. The family is together. And beyond the doorway, the ancient Nile moves gently through the darkness. The sound is soft, steady, almost like breathing. The farmer sleeps. The village sleeps. The fields sleep beneath the stars. And the river carries the quiet night onward. Morning comes quietly to the Nile Valley. The darkness has not completely disappeared, but the eastern horizon has begun to pale. Inside the small mud brick house, the farmer is still asleep. The air is cool. The roof above him is dry from yesterday's repair. The walls are silent. For a little while longer, nobody moves. Then a faint sound comes from outside. Water. A small splash near the river. A bird calling from the reeds. The farmer turns on his mat. His eyes open. He lies still for a few breaths. Then he sits up. Another day has arrived. There is no announcement. No great event. Just morning. He places his feet on the floor. The earth is cool. He stands. Around him, the household begins to wake. Someone shifts beneath the covering. A child murmurs. A woman begins preparing the first work of the day. The farmer steps outside. The morning air touches his face. It is still pleasant. The sun is not yet strong. He looks toward the river. The water is pale beneath the early sky. A narrow boat passes in the distance. Its movement is so slow that it almost seems to be standing still. The farmer watches for a moment. Then he turns toward the animals. There is always something waiting. The donkey needs food. The cow needs water. A tether needs checking. The farmer reaches down and touches the rope. It is holding. Good. He gives the animal some food. Then he walks to the water. The container is filled. He carries it back. The work is not difficult compared with the field. But it must be done. Morning is made from many small duties. A person rises. A person washes. A person feeds animals. A person prepares food. A person checks a tool. A person opens a door. A person walks outside. And gradually, without any single moment marking the change, the village becomes awake. A woman walks along the path carrying a basket. 2 children follow her. An older man sits outside his home. A fisherman walks toward the river. A potter opens the entrance to his workshop. Smoke begins rising from several cooking places. The village smells of wood smoke, warm earth, and food. The farmer takes his tools. Today he needs to work farther from the house. The crops in that area need attention. He leaves. The road is familiar. His sandals make soft sounds against the ground. He passes the river. The morning light is becoming brighter. The Nile looks almost blue. The banks are green in places. Reeds grow near the water. Palm trees rise above the houses. Beyond them, the land becomes dry. The contrast is clear. Water. Green. Earth. Then desert. The farmer lives within this narrow living strip. The river has made his world possible. He walks toward the field. The soil is damp in some places. Dry in others. He kneels. His fingers touch the ground. He examines a plant. Then another. A few weeds have appeared. He removes them. He does not need to think about the movement. His hands know what to do. Pull. Lift. Drop. Move forward. Again. 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 The sun rises. The morning becomes warmer. The farmer continues. There is a calmness in repetitive work. The same action can be performed many times without needing much thought. The farmer's mind can wander. Perhaps he thinks about his family. Perhaps about the animals. Perhaps about the roof. Perhaps about the coming harvest. Perhaps about nothing at all. Sometimes the body works while the mind becomes quiet. The field stretches before him. There are no walls around it. Only earth and sky. The farmer hears the wind moving through the plants. He hears birds. He hears distant voices. A wooden tool strikes the ground somewhere nearby. A worker calls to another. Then the sounds fade. The river is always there. The farmer works beside it. After some time, he notices something in the soil. A small area is too dry. He walks toward the irrigation channel. The channel has begun filling with mud. He takes his hoe. He removes the mud. Water begins to move. At first, only a little. Then more. The stream travels through the narrow channel. It reaches the dry earth. The soil slowly darkens. The farmer watches. This is one of the most satisfying moments of the work. Not because it is dramatic. Because the water is going where it should. The field is receiving what it needs. The farmer adjusts the channel. He presses the mud into place. The water follows. He stands. His back aches. He straightens slowly. Then he looks across the field. The plants are quiet. The sky is bright. The river continues. The work is going well. He walks back. By late morning, the heat begins to rise. The farmer removes his outer covering. He folds it and places it nearby. His skin is warm. Sweat gathers around his forehead. He drinks. Then he sits beneath a palm. The shade moves slightly as the leaves shift above him. Another worker sits nearby. Neither speaks for a while. There is no reason to. They listen to the leaves. A soft rustling. Then silence. A bird lands in the palm. It looks down. Then flies away. The farmer eats a small piece of bread. He chews slowly. He drinks again. The bread is plain. But it gives strength. He rests his head against the tree. His eyes close. The heat surrounds him. For a few minutes, he does not move. Then the other worker stands. The farmer remains seated a little longer. Soon he too rises. The field waits. The work continues. Near the edge of the village, another kind of work is happening. A group of people are preparing grain. The sound reaches the farmer from a distance. Stone against stone. A steady rhythm. Grain is poured. The upper stone moves. Flour gathers. The process is slow. But it has been done this way for generations. The grain grown in the field eventually becomes bread in the house. The farmer knows this. His work in the field is connected to the grinding stone. The grinding stone is connected to the oven. The oven is connected to the meal. The meal is connected to the strength needed for another day. Nothing stands alone. Every ordinary task belongs to another. The farmer returns to his work. He checks another section. A few plants have been damaged. Perhaps an animal passed through. He examines the marks. He repairs what he can. He does not become angry. The field is never perfect. There are always small problems. A broken branch. A weed. An insect. A dry patch. A damaged basket. A loose rope. Life is mostly the work of dealing with small problems before they become larger ones. The farmer knows this. He has learned patience. The sun reaches its highest point. The shadows nearly disappear. The farmer stops. This time he does not remain outside. He walks home. The path is hot. His sandals protect his feet. Dust rises around him. When he enters the house, the darkness feels comforting. The walls are cool. He sits. Water is given to him. He drinks slowly. The meal is ready. Bread. Vegetables. Perhaps beans. Perhaps fish. A few dates. The farmer eats. He does not talk much. His body is tired. The family knows. The meal passes quietly. Afterward, he lies down. The room is dim. His eyes close. The sounds of the village become distant. He hears grinding. Then voices. Then a donkey. Then nothing. Sleep comes. The afternoon passes. The farmer wakes slowly. The sun has moved toward the west. Light enters the doorway at an angle. The house is warmer than before. But the worst heat has passed. He sits up. His body feels heavy. He rubs his shoulders. Then stands. Outside, the village is becoming active again. The midday quiet has ended. People return to their work. The farmer walks toward the river. He wants to check something. The water level has changed slightly. He stands at the bank. The river is calm. A small piece of wood floats past. He watches it. It turns slowly. Then disappears downstream. The farmer looks toward the opposite bank. There are fields there too. A boat crosses the water. A man is carrying a basket. The boat moves gently. No waves. No hurry. The farmer walks along the bank. He sees fishermen preparing their nets. One net has become tangled. The fisherman sits down. He works patiently. One knot. Then another. The farmer watches. The work looks familiar. It is the same kind of patience needed in the field. A problem appears. Hands work on it. Slowly, the problem disappears. The fisherman looks up. The farmer nods. They exchange a few words. Then each continues. The farmer walks back toward his house. On the way, he passes a small workshop. A craftsman is shaping wood. The sound of the tool is steady. Tap. Scrape. Tap. Scrape. The farmer pauses. Inside the workshop, there are pieces of wood stacked along the wall. Some are long. Some are short. A few are already shaped. The craftsman is making something useful. Perhaps a stool. Perhaps a handle. Perhaps a piece of furniture. The farmer does not stay long. He continues walking. A potter works nearby. His hands are covered in clay. A round vessel slowly takes shape. The wheel turns. The potter's hands guide the clay. Round. Smooth. Even. The farmer watches for a moment. Then moves on. These workshops remind him that the village depends on many kinds of hands. The farmer grows food. The fisherman catches fish. The potter makes vessels. The carpenter shapes wood. The baker makes bread. The scribe records information. The merchant moves goods. Each person has a place. The farmer reaches home. His children are outside. They are playing near the doorway. One carries a small stick. Another is drawing lines in the dust. The farmer watches. For a moment, he remembers being young. He too once played in the dust. He too once watched adults work. He too once thought grown people knew everything. Now he knows that adults are often simply people who have repeated the same tasks many times. He sits near the doorway. One child comes close. The farmer says something quietly. The child listens. Then runs away again. The farmer smiles. The afternoon continues. There is work around the house. A basket needs to be moved. A piece of cloth needs repair. Grain needs checking. The farmer looks at the storage area. The grain is dry. Good. He checks the containers. Nothing appears damaged. He closes them again. Food storage is a quiet responsibility. A household can spend months growing food. Then much of that food must be protected from insects, moisture, animals, and simple waste. A family cannot eat everything at once. The harvest has to last. This makes storage almost as important as harvesting. The farmer knows this. He has seen years when the harvest was generous. He has also seen years when it was not. Good years and difficult years are both remembered. A household may save what it can. Grain is valuable. Dates can be dried. Vegetables can be stored. Fish can be preserved. Everything useful has a future. The farmer closes the storage room. He steps outside again. The evening is approaching. The sun is lower. The walls glow warmly. The river reflects the changing sky. A breeze moves across the village. It feels good against his skin. The farmer sits. He is tired, but not yet ready to sleep. There is still the evening meal. There is still the final care of the animals. There is still time to sit. A neighbor joins him. They speak quietly. The conversation turns to the river. Then the crops. Then a family member who has gone to another village. The neighbor tells a small story. The farmer listens. They do not speak for long. Eventually, the neighbor stands. He returns home. The farmer remains. The sky darkens. One star appears. Then another. Then many. The village lamps begin to glow. Tiny points of light. The farmer watches them. Each belongs to a household. Each contains people. Each contains food, tools, children, tired workers, sleeping mats, and small worries. From the outside, the houses look almost identical. But every house has its own life. The farmer enters his own. The meal is ready. The smell of bread fills the room. He sits. He eats. The family talks. A child is already tired. Another asks for more food. Someone pours a drink. The lamp flickers. The room feels warm. The meal takes time. Nobody needs to finish quickly. The farmer looks at his hands. They are rough. There are small cuts. The nails hold traces of soil. These hands have touched the field. They have touched animals. They have repaired roofs. They have held bread. They have carried water. They have shaped mud. They have held tools. The farmer's whole life is written in his hands, although no words appear there. After the meal, the family cleans the room. The dishes are simple. The containers are placed aside. The fire is reduced. The lamp remains. The farmer steps outside. The night air is cool. He looks toward the river. The moon is above the water. Its reflection moves with the current. The farmer stands quietly. There is something peaceful about the river at night. During the day, it is bright and busy. Boats move. People work. Animals drink. Fishermen cast nets. Children play near the bank. But at night, the river becomes dark again. It seems older. The farmer may feel that he is standing beside something that has always been there. He listens. Water. Wind. Insects. A distant voice. Then silence. He returns inside. The lamp is nearly finished. He lowers it. The room darkens. The family prepares to sleep. The farmer checks the doorway. He checks the animals one last time. Then he returns to his mat. He lies down. His muscles relax. The day leaves his body slowly. His feet stop aching. His shoulders loosen. His hands rest. He closes his eyes. The village is quiet. But the farmer's day is not the only story unfolding. Across the Nile Valley, other farmers are also resting. Some live close to the river. Some live farther away. Some have large fields. Some have small fields. Some work their own land. Some work land belonging to wealthier owners or institutions. Their lives are not identical. But many know the same rhythms. Early mornings. Heavy heat. Dust. Water. Grain. Animals. Harvest. Rest. The Nile connects them. Boats travel between villages. Goods move along the river. Messages move. People move. The river is a road as much as it is a source of water. For a farmer who rarely travels far, the river still brings the wider world close. A boat may arrive carrying goods from another place. A merchant may speak of a distant town. A traveler may bring news. A scribe may record taxes. An official may visit. The farmer may hear about all of this. But when the visitor leaves, the farmer returns to the field. The larger world continues somewhere beyond his daily path. His life remains close to home. This does not make it unimportant. A civilization rests on ordinary work. Grain has to exist before it can be stored. Bread has to exist before it can be eaten. Food has to exist before workers can build, trade, travel, or write. The farmer's work is quiet, but it is necessary. Still, he does not think of himself as part of a great civilization. He is simply trying to get through the season. He wants the animals healthy. He wants the crops strong. He wants enough food. He wants his family safe. He wants his tools to last. These are small hopes. They are also very old ones. The farmer turns beneath his covering. The room is completely dark now. His family sleeps. The village has become almost silent. The river remains. He can hear it. A steady sound. A soft movement. Water passing through darkness. His breathing becomes slower. His thoughts become less clear. The field is somewhere beyond the house. The animals are sleeping. The roof is holding. The grain is stored. The tools are waiting. Everything that can be done today has been done. Tomorrow can wait. The farmer sleeps. And once again, the Nile continues its slow journey beneath the stars. The moon moves across the sky. The shadows of palm trees shift across the ground. The mud brick houses stand quietly along the river. Inside them, ordinary people rest. A fisherman sleeps. A potter sleeps. A merchant sleeps. A child sleeps. A mother sleeps. An old man sleeps. And the farmer sleeps. Their work has stopped for the night. The fields are empty. The roads are empty. The workshops are dark. The ovens are cold. The grinding stones are still. For a few hours, the entire village belongs to silence. Then, eventually, morning will return. The first light will touch the river. The birds will call. The animals will stir. Doors will open. Feet will touch the dusty paths. The farmer will rise again. And another ordinary day will begin beside the ancient Nile. The first light arrives softly over the Nile. It touches the tops of the palm trees before it reaches the village. The houses remain mostly dark. Their mud brick walls hold the coolness of the night. Inside one of them, the farmer is sleeping. His body is turned slightly toward the wall. One arm rests beneath his head. His breathing is slow. The room is quiet. There is no reason to wake yet. But outside, the world has already begun changing. A bird calls from the riverbank. Another answers. A donkey shifts its feet. Somewhere farther down the village path, a wooden door opens. A woman steps outside. She looks toward the eastern sky. Then she begins her morning. The village wakes in small pieces. Not all at once. One house first. Then another. Then another. A little smoke rises above a roof. Someone carries a basket. Someone goes to the river. Someone begins preparing grain. Someone checks an animal. And gradually, the quiet village becomes a working village. The farmer wakes. He does not feel completely rested. The work of the previous day remains in his muscles. His shoulders are stiff. His hands are sore. His feet are tired. But this is familiar. He sits up. He looks around the dim room. The other members of the family are beginning to move. He stands. The floor is cool. He steps outside. The morning air is gentle. He breathes deeply. The Nile is only a short walk away. He can smell the river. Water. Wet earth. Reeds. A little smoke from cooking fires. The smell of the village waking. He walks toward the animals. The donkey looks at him. The farmer reaches out and touches its neck. The animal is warm. He gives it food. Then he checks the cow. The animal moves slowly. The farmer examines its legs. Everything appears fine. He gives it water. Then he returns to the house. There is bread waiting. He takes a piece. It is simple. A little dry. But filling. He eats while standing near the doorway. The sun is beginning to rise. The light turns the river pale gold. The farmer watches it for a moment. Then he takes his tools. The field is waiting. He begins walking. The path runs between houses. Dust rises gently beneath his feet. The village smells of bread and smoke. A child carries a small container. A woman sweeps the entrance to her home. An older man sits in the shade. The farmer nods to them as he passes. No one needs to say much. The morning has its own rhythm. He reaches the field. The plants are quiet. Drops of moisture may still cling to some leaves. The earth is cool in places. He kneels. His hand touches the soil. He studies it. There is a small patch that needs attention. He takes his hoe. The work begins. The blade enters the ground. He pulls it toward himself. The soil breaks apart. He moves forward. Again. Again. The motion is steady. The farmer does not hurry. The day is young. There is time. He works along the edge of the field. A few weeds are removed. A small mound of earth is moved. A narrow channel is cleared. Water enters. The farmer watches it spread. The dark line of moisture slowly moves across the soil. He adjusts the channel with his hands. The water follows the new path. He waits. This is the kind of work that teaches patience. Water does not care about human impatience. It moves according to the shape of the land. The farmer shapes the land. The river provides the water. Together, they make the field possible. The sun climbs. The morning becomes warmer. The farmer's back begins to ache. He straightens. He looks across the valley. The Nile is bright now. Boats are moving. One boat carries baskets. Another carries people. A third moves slowly against the current. The farmer watches them. The river is becoming busy. The village is busy too. But the field remains quiet. There is only the sound of his work. He returns to it. By mid-morning, the heat has become noticeable. His skin is warm. Dust clings to his legs. He drinks. Then continues. A group of workers passes along a nearby path. They are carrying tools. One of them calls out. The farmer answers. The voices travel across the fields. Then the group disappears. Silence returns. This is how a workday can feel. Long stretches of quiet. Broken by brief sounds. A call. A bird. A tool. Water. Footsteps. Then quiet again. The farmer continues. He checks the plants. Some are growing well. Others need more water. He studies them carefully. A plant can tell a farmer many things. Its color. Its shape. Its strength. The condition of its leaves. All of these are signs. The farmer knows the signs. He has seen them for years. Perhaps his father taught him. Perhaps his mother. Perhaps another older farmer. Perhaps the field itself. Knowledge can be carried without writing. A person can learn simply by watching. The farmer has watched the river since childhood. He remembers the smell of wet earth after the flood. He remembers the first time he held a tool. He remembers being told where not to step. He remembers carrying small baskets. He remembers being too short to reach certain places. Now his own children are growing. They watch him. They learn from him. One day, they may work the same land. The thought does not need to be spoken. It is simply part of life. The farmer keeps working. The sun reaches higher. The shadows become shorter. The field becomes hotter. He stops beneath a palm. There is another worker nearby. They sit in silence. The farmer takes bread from a small cloth. He breaks it. He eats. The other worker does the same. They drink. The palm leaves move above them. The shade shifts across the ground. A small lizard moves over a stone. Then disappears. The farmer closes his eyes. For a few moments, he is almost asleep. But the heat keeps him awake. He opens his eyes. The river shines. He hears water. He feels the breeze. Then he stands. The work continues. There is something very old about this rhythm. Work. Pause. Work. Pause. The farmer does not need to fill every moment with activity. There are natural pauses. Moments when the body stops. Moments when the eyes rest. Moments when a person simply looks at the land. He works until the sun is too strong. Then he returns home. The path is hot. The village seems quieter. Most people have moved indoors. The walls of the houses are cool. The farmer enters. He sits. Water is brought to him. He drinks. His face is tired. Someone gives him a damp cloth. He wipes his forehead. Then food is placed nearby. Bread. Vegetables. Perhaps a little fish. He eats. The room is quiet. A grinding stone moves in another part of the house. The sound is steady. The farmer hears it. It is familiar. Grain. Stone. Flour. Bread. Food. Work. The cycle is everywhere. He finishes eating. Then lies down. The afternoon heat presses against the outside wall. Inside, the room is dim. His eyes close. Sleep comes quickly. The village becomes quiet. Hours pass. The sun slowly moves westward. The farmer sleeps. Perhaps the dream is empty. Perhaps he dreams of water. Perhaps he sees the field. Perhaps he remembers something from childhood. There is no way to know. When he wakes, the light is different. It is late afternoon. The room is warm. But the air outside has begun to cool. The farmer sits up. He listens. Children are playing. Someone is calling from the path. A donkey makes a low sound. The village is awake again. He steps outside. The sun is lower now. Long shadows stretch across the ground. The farmer looks toward the field. There is still work to do. He takes his tools. But before leaving, he checks the roof. The repair from yesterday is dry. He touches the surface. It is firm. He nods. Then he walks. The river is beautiful in the late afternoon. The water reflects the sky. The light is softer. A boat moves slowly across the surface. The farmer watches. There are people aboard. Perhaps they are carrying grain. Perhaps pottery. Perhaps fish. Perhaps nothing more than themselves. The river carries them onward. The farmer walks beside it. He sees reeds moving in the breeze. A fisherman is sitting near the bank. He is repairing a net. The fisherman works with his hands. He pulls one strand. Then another. He stops. Looks closely. Continues. The farmer understands the patience. He has the same kind of patience. The farmer passes. The fisherman nods. They continue their separate work. The field is cooler now. The farmer checks the plants. He clears another section. He adjusts the water. He carries a basket. He moves soil. The evening passes slowly. The sun drops lower. The sky becomes pale orange. Then softer. The farmer's work becomes easier. The air is pleasant. A breeze moves across the crops. The plants bend slightly. Then rise again. The farmer stands still. For a moment, he simply watches. This field contains much of his life. Food. Work. Worry. Hope. Memory. The farmer does not use those words. He simply knows the field. He knows where the soil is good. He knows where the water reaches. He knows which part becomes dry. He knows where the birds gather. He knows where his children sometimes walk. The land is familiar, almost like another member of the household. The sun reaches the horizon. The farmer stops working. He gathers his tools. The day is finished. He begins walking home. Other farmers are leaving too. Some carry baskets. Some lead animals. Some walk beside their children. The path is filled with quiet movement. Everyone is tired. Nobody seems unhappy. The day has simply been long. At the edge of the village, the farmer stops near the river. He washes his hands. He splashes water onto his face. The water is cool. He rubs his eyes. Then he stands. A boat passes. The farmer watches its shape disappear into the evening. The river carries it away. He turns toward home. Smoke rises from cooking fires. The smell of bread is everywhere. His stomach responds immediately. He walks faster. Not much faster. Just enough. He enters his home. His family is preparing dinner. The lamp is not yet lit. There is still enough daylight. The room glows with the last light of evening. The farmer sits. Someone gives him food. He eats. The bread is warm. The vegetables are soft. There is fish. The farmer eats slowly. He has been working since morning. The meal feels comforting. The family speaks. A child tells a small story. Someone laughs quietly. The farmer listens. He says something. The conversation moves on. Nothing needs to be remembered. Nothing needs to be recorded. It is simply an evening. A family eating together. The sun disappears. The lamp is lit. The room becomes warm with its small glow. Shadows appear on the walls. The farmer's hands rest in his lap. For a while, he does nothing. The day's work is finished. He watches the lamp. The flame moves slightly. The oil is slowly used. The farmer looks at the room. The walls. The baskets. The pots. The tools. The sleeping mats. These objects are ordinary. But they are the objects around which his life is built. A house does not need much to become familiar. A doorway. A place to sleep. A place to cook. A place to store grain. A place to sit. The farmer knows every part of his home. He knows where the floor is uneven. He knows where the roof was repaired. He knows which wall becomes warm first in the morning. He knows where the lamp is kept. He knows where the tools rest. He knows where the grain is stored. Home is made from these small details. After dinner, the farmer goes outside. The sky is completely dark now. Stars appear everywhere. The desert beyond the river is almost invisible. The village is a collection of small lights. One lamp here. Another there. The farmer walks a few steps. He looks toward the river. The Nile reflects the stars. The water is black and silver. He hears the sound of a paddle. Someone is still traveling. The boat passes slowly. The farmer watches until it disappears. Then he sits on the ground. He is tired. The earth beneath him is warm from the day. The air is cooler. The breeze moves gently. He hears the village. A distant voice. A child. An animal. Then quiet. He stays there for a while. Perhaps he thinks about the coming harvest. Perhaps about the next morning. Perhaps about nothing. The mind becomes quiet when the body is tired. The farmer's eyes grow heavy. He stands. He returns inside. The family is preparing to sleep. The lamp burns lower. Someone covers the remaining food. The animals are checked. A door is secured. The farmer places his tools beside the wall. He looks at them. The hoe. The basket. The rope. The wooden handle. Tomorrow they will return to the field. Tonight they can remain still. He lies down. His body settles onto the woven mat. The mat is firm. Not soft. But familiar. His shoulders relax. His legs stretch. His hands rest beside him. The room is dark. The lamp is almost gone. He closes his eyes. Outside, the Nile moves. It has been moving all day. It moved while he worked. It moved while he ate. It moved while he slept. It will move while he dreams. The river does not stop. The farmer does. For a few hours. He sleeps. The village sleeps. The fields rest. The animals rest. The tools rest. The ovens become cold. The grinding stones become still. The roads empty. The boats slow. The night deepens. And the farmer's world becomes very small. A dark room. A woven mat. A quiet family. A roof above him. The distant sound of water. He breathes slowly. His tired muscles release the day. His hands become still. His thoughts fade. Tomorrow is somewhere ahead. But tonight there is nothing to do. Nothing to carry. Nothing to repair. Nothing to plant. Nothing to harvest. The field can wait. The river can wait for no one, but it does not ask anything of him tonight. The farmer sleeps. And the Nile continues its slow movement beside the village. Across the dark valley, other houses are silent. Other farmers are sleeping. Some have had good days. Some have had difficult days. Some are worried about their crops. Some are pleased with their harvest. Some are young. Some are old. Some are raising children. Some are caring for aging parents. But for these quiet hours, they share something simple. They are resting. Their work has stopped. Their hands are empty. Their voices are quiet. The ancient landscape becomes still. The stars remain overhead. The moon moves slowly. The river reflects the sky. And beneath the old Egyptian night, the farmer sleeps until the first pale light of morning begins to return. The night has become very still now. The Nile continues to move beside the village. Its dark water passes slowly beneath the moonlight, carrying tiny reflections of stars along its surface. The farmer is asleep. His tools rest against the wall. The baskets are quiet. The animals are settled. The grain is stored. The house is dark and peaceful. Nothing more is required of him tonight. The field can wait until morning. The river will still be there. The palms will still stand along the bank. The narrow paths will still lead between the houses. And when the sun rises, another day will begin. But for now, there is only rest. The farmer breathes slowly. In. And out. His tired hands lie still. His feet no longer carry him across the dusty ground. His shoulders no longer lift the heavy tools. The heat of the day has faded from his skin. The cool night surrounds the house. Outside, somewhere near the river, a bird moves among the reeds. Then it becomes quiet again. A soft breeze passes through the palms. The leaves whisper gently. The sound travels across the dark fields. The farmer does not wake. He remains beneath the simple roof, surrounded by the familiar things of his life. A clay vessel. A woven mat. A basket. A wooden tool. A little food. A little water. A family sleeping nearby. Nothing grand. Nothing dramatic. Just a home. Just another night. And perhaps this is how most of ancient history really felt. Not like a procession of kings. Not like a series of battles. But like countless ordinary evenings when tired people finally lay down after a long day. A mother closing a cooking fire. A fisherman setting aside his net. A potter washing clay from his hands. A worker stretching his sore back. A child falling asleep beside a parent. A farmer looking once toward the river before entering his house. Then darkness. Then sleep. Then morning. Again. And again. The farmer's life was made from these small repetitions. The seasons changed. The river rose and fell. The fields became green and then golden. Children grew older. Old people became slower. Houses were repaired. Tools were replaced. Baskets were woven again. Bread was baked. Grain was ground. Boats came and went. And through it all, the Nile continued its patient movement. Years passed quietly. The farmer may never have imagined that anyone would remember his ordinary days. He did not build a monument to himself. He did not leave behind a great story. He simply worked. He cared for his family. He cared for the animals. He cared for the field. He woke when morning came. He rested when the heat became too strong. He ate when he was hungry. He slept when he was tired. And that was enough. The ancient village has become almost completely silent now. The lamps have gone dark. The cooking fires are cold. The paths are empty. The river alone remains awake. It moves through the darkness. Slowly. Steadily. Without hurry. The same water passes the fields where the farmer worked. It passes the palms. It passes the sleeping houses. It passes the distant boats. And somewhere beyond the village, it continues toward the sea. The farmer sleeps beside it. His breathing is quiet. The night grows deeper. The stars slowly cross the sky. Soon, even the moon will begin to disappear. And eventually, the eastern horizon will become pale again. Morning will return. The first bird will call. The animals will stir. Someone will open a door. Someone will carry water. Someone will light a fire. The farmer will wake. He will sit up. He will place his feet upon the cool floor. He will step outside. And once again, the Nile will be there. Waiting without waiting. Moving without hurry. Giving the ancient valley its rhythm. But we do not need to follow him into another morning. Not tonight. Tonight, the story can remain here. Beside the quiet river. Under the stars. With the farmer sleeping peacefully beneath his simple roof. The field is resting. The village is resting. The animals are resting. And the old Nile continues its gentle journey through the darkness. So let the sounds of that ancient world become softer now. The distant water. The faint wind. The palm leaves. The quiet breathing of a sleeping household. The soft earth beneath the houses. The cool air before sunrise. Everything slowly fading together. The farmer sleeps. The village sleeps. And the river keeps moving. Slowly. Quietly. Endlessly. The night becomes deeper. The stars become softer. The ancient world grows distant. And beside the Nile, beneath the peaceful Egyptian sky, there is nothing left to do. Only rest. Only silence. Only sleep. I can also create a calming vintage-style image of this final ancient Nile night.